Hey everybody, Tessa Q, talking about sober dating, and I wanted to talk about this for a couple days now. I was in a meeting recently and somebody was saying that they'd been out on a couple dates and they really liked the person, but their nervousness, saboteur, just kind of built up this wave and overrode them, and they ended up breaking up with the person. And I wanted to talk about this because this was something that I learned very early on in dating, my first couple of dating experiences, and I had a really strong sponsor who just kept reminding me that it was just going to be really uncomfortable, and to take my higher power on the dates with me. I actually, when I met the person who became my wife, was so uncomfortable that I used to bring my mala beads with me on the dates or anytime we spent time together, and I would do my mantra quietly. And even the first weekend that we went out of town together, every day for 30 minutes I went off and did my mantra, because that was the only thing that helped me deal with that unbridled kind of this tsunami of anxiety. And a lot of that for me was vulnerability. A lot of that I worked out in step 2 and step 3. A lot of that was fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. And some of it was in my recovery from anorexia, just a complete aversion to letting someone see me, the real me. But also a complete kind of opaque, blocked outness of my sexual ideal. And when I came into recovery and I started to talk to my sponsor about sober dating, that's one of the things we talked about in the exercises that I wrote about, and going to parks and or wherever I would be and looking at who I was titillated by physically, and who I wasn't, in sobriety, which is very different than in the disease state. My disease state picks out other alcoholics. My sobriety, very painstakingly, I had to figure out how to pick out people that I was attracted to. So we get on the date, and that vulnerability comes up, that tsunami comes up, what to do. So this is another reason why the very simple dating plan that I've talked about in other videos says the date has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So go on the date. I don't know, go on the activity date. This is the other reason why the activity dates, right? Keep busy, keep occupied, keep busy, take God on the date with you, do something together, and the date has a beginning. So it's 6 o'clock, we're gonna go to an art show, walk through the art gallery, and then have a quick bite, and then be home by 10. Right, kissy, like teenagers on the front porch, or in the passenger seat. Fun, dating, sober date is fun. But then home. And why is that, right? I need to bookend. I want to do some outreach calls. I want to pray my ass off. I probably prayed my ass off during the day, but I want to pray my ass off. And then I want to try and soothe that inner soul that's experienced the rejection and the abandonment and the fear of vulnerability and the fear of intimacy, soothe her back to a state of serenity. And so that's the other reason why the dating plan says take a beat between dates, so that I can get to some semblance of serenity. So often the next day after a date, I'm up with all of that excess energy and anxiety, because that tsunami is still working on me, right? Physically moving, picking up garbage, making outreach calls. Often it really helps me to have scheduled step work and other work with other people following those dates or those dating experiences. Getting my butt to as many meetings as I can. This is before COVID. I was single before COVID and Zoom, but taking advantage, really flexing all of the tools that I have in my sober toolbox. And then slowly, as I've touched base with my sponsor, slowly reaching out again and saying, hey, I had a really great time. Not what they did, not how they made me feel, but I statements. I had a really great time. I would love to see you again. I. And by the way, during all this time, I'm not checking on them on social media. I'm not stalking them. I'm not driving by their house. Stalking is not sober behavior, right? I am focused on me. I'm focused on returning to serenity. With the acceptance of step 1, sober dating is going to throw my ass into a tizzy. But I can return to serenity with steps 2 and steps 3. And so sending those messages, or a message, and then again sitting on my hands and waiting for them to respond, because they may or they may not. I've been ghosted. I've gotten responses. Just depends. It's all up to God. God's already got the persons picked out for me. My path is already set forward. So sitting on my hands and doing what next? Activities, going to the gym, going rock climbing, going salsa dancing, picking up garbage, calling folks for outreach, setting up appointments for steps, etc. That's the cosm, the microcosm I wanted to show you from those comments that were made about dating and how incredibly vulnerable it is, and that tsunami, that monster that tries to bury me, and the actionable steps that I can take to work around that and work through sober dating, and my fear of intimacy, and my fear of abandonment, and my fear of rejection. Sober dating, y'all. Tessa Q, married, coming up on 26 years of sobriety in my fellowship of SLAA, benefiting tremendously from EDA, which is an incredible fellowship, and step work in ACOA. If I can do it, you can do it.